So when you have storms, I just want to start off with a word of advice. You know, you can tell if it's straight line winds or, you know, what they call downburst, which is water that will push everything a certain direction. Kind of what you would see here. But how do you know if it was whipping around winds that can come from different directions and be a tornado? Would be when you look and you see different laying down of debris or even tall grass, you know, because you'll see one direction, you know, this is laid to your right if the video doesn't flip the other way, but yet there's other directions that lay it in another, like this one's opposite of this side. So word of advice when you're looking at damage, that's kind of how they know which is which and what to look at. But this video is being made. These are geodes children have broke open along with some shrooms that have grown here. But you can tell where some of them were just plain old rocks, and then most of them are plain rocks here. Oh. And some of them were a geode. This one had some of those shells in there. But you can see what's in them. Well, I have 3 different types of rocks here that I'm going to break open and show you how the kids do, or children, I guess I should say. You can tell we've used this rock for breaking them. But you need a rock hammer. This is just a cheap one that I bought. But break them open, and then that's what you see raw before anything is filtered. You can see little pieces in there. Oh, thank you, son. Thank you, Father. Sometimes I have a few that shimmer in the light immediately without any cleaning, and you can, I just moved it, laid it down, and these little rocks are moving in here. And then you can see where the hole was, the cavity. And it looks like there's a lot of dirt. But I've noticed these were dirty too. But laying it here, oh. If I can do this and not make a mess of the video, I'll be doing good. Oh, come on. Hang on a second, I'm about to sit you down. There's a little tiny piece of rock that came out of there. And I'm going to set it back down in there. And we let the rain sit on there and bring them down. And there's the little pieces that came out when I busted the rock. But even when you don't find a geode, oh wow, you can find some really interesting things. It looks like this one started to try to be a geode, but didn't quite make it to that point. But you can tell because that little white part. So you do find some interesting things. It's kind of like an adventure because you never know what you're going to get. This is the one I believe I found this morning. Well, or was it that? No, that was the one I found this morning in the creek on one of my videos that was posted. But you can find some really interesting treasures. Nothing ever been significant. Just trying to see if there are any obvious cracks. I see a little glistening in there. And you see that little tiny hole? I see some. It's hard to tell on a video if it's glistening like it is in real life with my own two eyes in front of me. But let's see if we can break this again. I thought that might be where water might have had a crack to get in there, because you can see where it's cracked up here and where it's creating that cavity. I'll tell you, our world around us is so interesting. Oh, yes, there was a crack. But you can find some really interesting. It still didn't get into that hole where that crack was at. And you can just keep busting to see what's inside. And different minerals have different coloring. And you can see where that's worked its way in and it's came up probably before it really got going. Oh, I see this is cracked right here. And I try to do it on the, there it goes. It's pretty neat what you find. It's an adventure because you never know what you might find when you open them. And it looks like the first one we busted open was a little bit more, of course you can't really tell right now, but the way that looks with the reddening is what this used to look like, and we've just left it out in the weather. And I don't know if I can get in the sunshine if it glistens or not. It does when I look at it. But it's really neat to see what you find. In any freshwater creek, that freshwater creek comes up out of the ground, you're gonna find these treasures. And it's really neat what you can find. That looks like a heart, the heart of God, seat of the fireplace. And you see how it's been cleaned by the weather, and the little gems that aren't really fine-tuned as of yet. I could probably get a rock tumbler. You see the crack in that rock. But this one was a really cool one. The kids were so excited when they found this one, when you see those minerals, time and pressure, turning into precious stones, the fiery stones of God. Man, I'm going to tell you, God's awesome. So I told you in one of the videos, people are crazy for rejecting him, because he's so wonderful.